Platchums!
Okay, so yeah, so Dan, we've been collecting trophies for quite a while. It's safe to say. I think between us, we've a collective 25 years experience.
Yeah, God, we're so old.
We were there since the year dot when
Yeah.
Plat was a boy. Yeah, so we've been collecting for quite a long time. We both have, I'd say, pretty, decent collections. You more than me, especially in terms of sheer size. But we've managed to play a lot of games. But I was actually thinking, all the talk's always about rarity. What's your rarest platinum? What are your rarest trophies? And I was just thinking, I never actually took the time to look up what are my top 10 most common platinums. So in lieu of any creative idea, here are us discussing our top 10 most common platinums, and expect a video that will be discussing our top 10 most rare platinums because we're just that creative. So Dan,
So creative.
I'm going to throw up the list with the magic of editing. So what is in descending order? Or ascending? I don't know. What are your top 10 most common platinums, and would you recommend them?
Okay, so we'll go descending order.
Yes.
So let's see. Okay, so my 10th. So number 10.
Yes.
So if we're going, if we're starting from, I suppose it's very confusing.
We can literally just read it as it is on PlayStation profiles.
No, my number 1 will be my most common platinum.
Okay.
Yeah, my
We
most. Yeah,
we
okay.
established the rules in the middle of the video and said it before. That's the kind of preparation you can expect from the Platchums.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Okay, so number 10 for me is actually a really, really cool game. But I think all my games are cool, so that's me tooting my own horn. Is The Last Campfire. So that is a game by Hello Games from No Man's Sky fame. It is a short game, like 4 or 5 hours, puzzle, adventure. There's no combat at all. It's just a puzzle game. Art style's really nice. Music's really cool. Voice acting's good. Very atmospheric. Just a chill game. The platinum's there 75.96%, which doesn't surprise me. But there's nothing challenging in it at all, especially if you use a guide, of course. I got the platinum in, I don't know. So tell me here.
Well,
got
the platinum in.
Yeah, sorry, I've looked at the wrong section, so I don't know how long it took me. But I enjoyed that game quite a lot. I thought it was pretty cool. It was, it's a very polished experience. I've included it in my kind of 10 hidden gem easy platinums in part 2 of that video series. Part 3 is coming, and yeah, it's a cool game. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good.
Yeah, what I want to get from this is that I feel like in the past couple of years, especially with the rise of Radalika, that a common plat is a shitty game, but it's not always the case. It seems to be the assumption, but there's some great games with very easy platinums.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, and that's why I did those 2 videos and have the third in the works at the minute, because especially when I got reignited my love for trophy hunting in early 2020, peak coronavirus, that was the
peak
time
pandemic,
yeah, that's where it all kicked off, and I got really back into trophies, and I was looking for games that were still fun and were good, well-made games, but the trophies weren't extremely taxing.
Yeah.
So I found a lot of cool indie games, and that's why I do want to, share that with other people. So Last Campfire, Last Campfire is definitely one of those quality experience from a very reputable, or maybe not reputable, maybe that's the wrong word.
I think they've earned
redeemed.
I think they were redeemed, and now they're relatively reputable.
yeah. So yeah, that definitely Last Campfire, strongly recommended if you
Okay,
like
so
kind of
thumbs up.
chilled. Thumbs up. Yeah. What about you? What's your 10th from the
Okay, so
top?
my 10th. Oh, okay,
I would go. I
so
think we were gonna go just me for like the first 10, but then I just thought on the fly, why
let's
don't we go
roll with the punches,
cross
yo.
cross?
So my 10th most common platinum is actually a game that I adore. It's The Wolf Among Us, and it's sitting at a 39.23%. So I'd say the only thing preventing from being higher up is the fact that there's very few collectibles. It
Yeah,
wasn't like the classic Telltale list at the time where you just finish the game. So they
yeah,
kind of threw a bit of, a curveball by including collectibles. And I think there's only like 6 collectibles per chapter, and pretty
if
much it's like,
even. Yeah,
if even, and like they're very, very clear. I think only 1 or 2 of them I had to look up a guide for.
yeah. In my
Um,
head, I thought there was only one per chapter or something. Or it was like, but maybe
that
there's
that
more.
could even be I think there were 6. Not like as you can see, I finished in 2014, so
Yeah,
I might be misremembering. But excellent game. I want to do like a long retrospective video on it on my own channel at some point. Just I think it's Telltale's best game.
yeah.
Um, I
I
just
love that game too. Yeah,
just
the
the
story is great.
atmosphere, the story is fantastic. Even though like I kind of went in with like, I don't know, like fables. I don't know, but I heard
Yeah,
great things, and I pretty much bought it on the back of the Walking Dead series, because I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, I just love that kind of style of game. I'm very much story driven in that regard, and
yeah.
just Big B's such a great character, and it was quite surprising at the time how much I liked it. But I think just the noir vibes that kind of like permeate every single like bit of that game. It's just a great game. So like you can get it on the Vita. It's routinely on sale for like €5 to €6. And I do think the sequel is still happening.
Yeah,
So I'm anticipating it in a cautious way. Because yeah, that's been through all kinds of development hell, but
it's
massive thumbs up, massive
it's
thumbs up.
crazy to me that like that game is at 39%. Because like there's so little to do in that game, bar like a few collectibles.
Hmm.
And I think it's at that level where it's a game that's played by just so many people that then it brings in those people who aren't necessarily going for the trophies all the time.
I'm quite surprised by the owners though. Like according to PlayStation profiles here, it's only 68,000 owners that are registered on the site that have it. Now that's on the PS3, so I mean maybe with the Vita, but you'd assume that there's probably crossover people buying it on both. So I'm actually kind of surprised how few people own that game on the PSN P side of things, because of its notoriously easy platinum and the fact it's just a fantastic game.
Yeah. So the
Um,
PS4 version has almost 92,000 owners, which makes sense because it was a very early PS4 game, which is probably why we still play it on the PS3.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then with the Vita, it's another nearly 13 and a half
Even when the
thousand. So
PS4 was released, I was like, I couldn't get one. Damn it, history
yeah,
keeps repeating itself.
yeah.
But what's your ninth most common plat?
Okay, so number 9 for me is it is Cat Quest.
Oh, you love that
So
game.
yeah, Cat Quest. I'll admit I saw the splash art for Cat Quest numerous times in the sales, and I thought, oh, this game it must be a
Gag.
Ratalaika game. It must be, I thought it was just one of these kind of shovelware games. Because there's a few games that have like similar names. There's like it's like a Foxy Land, and then
Beeline
there's like
Quest,
there's
Cougar
other
Quest,
there's
yeah.
other games that have similar names. No, Cougar Quest definitely, I think, is a different thing. You're thinking of
Spin off of Leisure Suit Larry.
But Cat Quest is a really cool game. It's made, I think if it's is it Filipino? I'd have to double check. But it's a very small team, and they put like loads and loads of care into the game. It's really well polished. It's a simple game overall, but it's really, really good fun RPG. it mixes kind of like, you know, that isometric view with real-time combat, and then you've got like a lot of RPG mechanics like leveling up and loads of gear. The gear kind of feels different, you know, you get different like play styles, and there's spells in it and stuff. Games like, I suppose I'm fairly surprised to see it up at the 76%, just because like it's not super short, because you have to do like a lot of quests to get the 100%. Like it's probably like 10, 12 plus hours, I would say, to get the platinum. You can't miss anything, which definitely helps, but
there's still a bit of work to it, like
a little bit of work, yeah. Not difficult at all or anything, but good fun. I played it with my daughter actually, and we had great fun playing that game. And it has like it's a very self-aware game. A lot of cat puns. Yeah, a lot. It does. It definitely knows what it is. And there's a sequel, which is my 14th most common platinum as well.
Just outside the top 10.
Just outside top 10. But yeah, Cat Quest, you know, you can pick it up for next to nothing in sales, and it's a good fun game. I had a great time with Cat Quest. The music is cool. I still have the theme song kind of stuck in my head as I look at the picture. And I just want to double check where the team is, because that'll be bugging me if I don't look that up.
Research montage.
Do research montage. They are. Oh God, this is going to take me way longer than I needed in this video. I'll get back to you on that one. Yeah.
Well, no, freeze frame and just add it.
Yeah.
And we're back. So, thumbs up for Cat Quest.
Thumbs up.
Recommend it. Okay,
I would. Yeah.
Not too bad. So my number 9 is Life is Strange 2.
Cool.
And that is sitting at a 43%, which I would have reversed the Wolf Among Us and Life is Strange 2, because Life is Strange 2, it's all collectibles. Essentially, that's the whole list, is just collectibles. So you're very much kind of tethered to a bit of a guide there if you want to, you know, kind of knock it out as quickly as possible. I would definitely recommend this game. Like, you can kind of see a trend already emerging from like the games here. They're like, I very much like those story-driven kind of decision-based games. I like, if they're done really well, I just love them, even if they're not done super well. I just like that, you know. Excellent game. I still had a slight preference for the first game, with Chloe Max. But I think the season kind of finished very strongly in Life is Strange 2. Like, the last 2 chapters were really, really good, and I felt like you definitely had a much more variation in the endings, as opposed, I feel like Life is Strange, the original one, essentially spoilers for anyone, but essentially comes down to like 2 decisions, and everything you've done is sort of irrelevant. You know, it was kind of like a fixed track, and then just right at the end, you know, it's very easy for the developers just to like, okay, play cutscene B now, you know, for the ending.
Yeah.
Cutscene A.
No, I agree. I think the variety of endings was great. It was one of the kind of rare games that I went back and I tried to do it the other ways, just because I wanted to see how different it was.
I got the worst ending ever. I got like the worst, me, because I played it with my girlfriend, you see, which like, she wouldn't be a gamer really, but she loves those types of games, and it's kind of like, you know, pass the controller and making the decisions together and stuff. And like, I remember like when we got that ending, like, she just kind of turned to me, was like, I think we got the worst one. And I'm like,
I think I know the one you're talking about.
yeah, like, I won't go into it because Life is Strange 2 is still relatively new, but gets a thumbs up for me. I think, like you, I'm kind of like, I like all the games on my list, but
I'm gonna give thumbs up.
I'd say the only
everything.
I'd say the only thing, like, as opposed to Wolf Among Us, I think, you know, I would recommend playing like, you can play the second one without playing the first. You really can, but it's tonally different to, say, like the Telltale games. It's much less action packed, and it's just got a slightly different vibe to it. It's kind of like more of an indie movie, if that,
Mhm.
as opposed to something like The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us. But if you like it, you like it. The only thing is probably a bit more expensive than some of the Telltale games. So if you're thinking of picking it up or giving it a go, just bear that in mind. But it gets a thumbs up.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it less than 15 quid, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it seems to be that's its floor at the minute. Yeah, I really, really liked it. I think I said this before, but I think we were laughing at Life is Strange like many years ago when it got first released. We were like, Life is Strange. Yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah, we're definitely going to play that.
Tumblr the game, like.
And then we both played it and we're like, oh wow, this is great.
Yeah, no, I got it for PlayStation Plus, and I'm just like, shit, I kind of dig
Yeah.
this. And then, like,
Yeah.
especially, like, you know, with the first scene, you know, walking down the hallway in the school, it's like, to all of you American girls. And I'm like, so poignant. Damn it.
Yeah, no, I really liked I liked the 3 Walking Dead or the 3 Life is Strange games I've played, and I'm excited to try the new one now, and whenever
Yeah.
that falls down in price.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't pay 60 now for Life is Strange game, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well,
Not
like
gonna lie.
supposedly it's like 6 hours or so. So
I even if it was 20 hours, Life is Strange is that type of series that's excellent between big games and that you pick up on sale. For me.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but anyway, what's your numero octo?
Yes, yeah, that's how you say that. Number 8 for me is Air, which
Oh.
is a really cool game. It's like basically you're like this girl that can turn into a bird, and you fly between these different like islands suspended in the sky, to finish the game and solve the mystery.
This is I remember it on your list of the top 10 hidden gems.
Yeah, I think most of the games that are going to be on this list now were in those videos as well. To be honest, it's a really cool game. It reminded me quite a lot of Zelda Wind Waker, just because
That's high praise.
Yeah, just like for I suppose the navigation, it kind of felt cool flying between the different worlds, and or the different islands, and the flying mechanics are really cool. The story is very sparse, but there's nice variety in the different islands. Like there's kind of goes through like the seasons a little bit, so there's like a lot of variety in the different landscapes. The flying just feels cool, and it's nice to just fly around. It's a chill game. I think a lot of the games now that are going to be on my list are like nearly like experiences that you could kind of finish in an evening,
In a
or
sitting
two.
kind of thing.
Yeah, 1 or 2 sittings. And they're experiences that I personally love. I love those kind of games where you can just, it's like watching like a long movie and just enjoying it and then remembering it fondly. And they're all quality experiences. Air was a cool game, and it was one of the first games. I can see it there, the platinum on the 20th of February 2020. So that was like exactly that kind of time, where I started getting into those kind of games. And I think that was the time I really figured out, oh wow, you can get like loads of cool indie games on the PlayStation Store for like
really cheap,
nothing now. Yeah, because up until that point, I always thought the store was so expensive. But yeah, Air is a cool game. Platinum's at 77.33%. It's like one trophy that you kind of have to like look out for, and that's missable, but that's it. And the game is like 4 hours long.
And that's the thing, it's not as if it's like a missable trophy in The Witcher or something, it's not going to be the end of the world if you miss it on such a short game. Okay, so like Air's come up a few times. That's something I need to go around to.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah. So numero octo, I don't for me. I never did Spanish. Is Concrete Genie. Now, I don't think there's a whole lot to say on it, because I'd say enough a lot of people are quite familiar with it, considering it's on PlayStation Plus earlier on at the start of the year. Just a fun game. One of my fastest platinums, I would say. It's sitting at a 45%. there is a bit more to it than I thought there would be in terms of like collectibles and just kind of the free roaming and stuff. But I really liked the painting mechanic. I thought it was quite fresh and original. And that's really what appeals to me about such smaller games, is that normally they're quite reliant on having somewhat unorthodox or unique mechanics to kind of carry them, because obviously they're not going to have God of War style visuals, for the most part. So I think that they're like a creative hotbed of new ideas and kind of fresh perspectives and stuff. So Concrete Genie was one of the kind of nice little surprises that when PlayStation Plus is on fire, that it can provide people. So I thought that was like a very good month, and I think it was like January, February at the start of the year.
Yeah, had a really, really cool VR section as well. Like the VR section for that game particularly was like one of the better experiences, those kind of short experiences in VR. It was one of the ones I showed my wife, and she's usually just like not really into the games at all, but she put it on, she was like, whoa, she's like, whoa, it's like right there. And I was like, yeah,
so colorful though, like I can imagine,
so
like,
colorful.
Yeah, like it's it's just a game that lends itself well to that. But so if it's sitting in anyone's library, if you one of those people that added every game that's on PlayStation Plus to your library, and if you haven't played it, a great game, that you can finish, again in a couple of sittings. And just a very accessible, fun little platinum.
Yeah, and I think it's all about like bullying is bad. So
that's the succinct summary. Like, there's not a whole lot in the way of voice acting, but essentially you can gather it's like, oh, those damn bullies.
Those bullies are like the most stereotypical bullies ever. And then we won't go too much into the story, but it's
they have a face turn. Yeah, they turn.
I liked that.
I like that too. So next on your list.
Next on my list is probably the least gamey game on my entire list, I would say. Gamey game being a description.
It's an academic term. Gamey game.
Yeah, is Lara Croft Go. So I have Lara Croft Go and Hitman Go on my list. Two puzzle games I played on the Vita. Like, nice experiences, absolutely. Very easy platinums if you follow a guide. If you don't follow a guide, it's a lot more complicated. A lot of trial and error involved. Like, I personally liked the puzzle style of it. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was good. Like, it's definitely more of it's more of a tablet kind of game, I would say.
Yeah, like for me, I told you before, when we were recording this, it's the one game I'd say in your list, those goal games that I just wouldn't bother with. To be honest.
Like I wouldn't necessarily like recommend them to anyone. You kind of know exactly what you're getting. I think it's more of a game that you'd have on your phone or your tablet or whatever. Just
the Vita can do better.
Yeah, like definitely not bad experiences. I think Hitman Go is a lot better than Lara Croft Go, because the Hitman Go had a lot more thought to it, and it was a lot more like a Hitman game.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah,
the Lara Croft game was, I suppose, a bit more basic, I thought. The Hitman game was quite cool because you had to eliminate people in like a certain order, or
maybe
get past
it's
them or
because
whatever.
Lara Croft, they probably thought, it's Tomb Raider, like people will buy it. But Hitman's always been like, it's always like, it feels like it's on the cusp of like mainstream attention, but it's very much stuck almost like the Deus Ex, where people who are into games know these series, but outside of that, like, it's still kind of like a niche, and it's like, okay, it strengthens its gameplay, Hitman. Just the stealth, all the different options, how you're going to like assassinate someone. So it's like, okay, for that to translate in any way, shape, or form, it's going to take a bit more effort than just slapping like a Lara Croft skin on like a character. No, jump on the platform.
Yeah, like those games are cool because I suppose because like there's a lot of thought gone into the puzzles and stuff like that. So I just think it's more of a game that probably lends itself to like a touch screen than a controller or whatever as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yep.
Okay. So that's not quite a thumb.
I'd say that's it's not
Yeah.
a thumbs up. It's not a thumbs down. I'm perfectly happy having played it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Let's leave it at that. Thumbs to the middle.
So number 7 is essentially a game that I think is on every single trophy hunter's list, and quite rightly so. It's SpiderMan at a 45%. So it's kind of funny to me that there's far more to that game, even though it is, I would say, for all intents and purposes, it's quite easy. But compared to, say, like Wolf Among Us or Life is Strange, it's definitely got a lot more meat on its bones. So it's kind of crazy. It shows just how good that game is. If, there's 550,000 owners and 251,000 of them have the platinum. So I think that's the hallmark of a great game, and also like a good list. And I think that it's almost like a meme on the trophy subreddit at this point. But that's everyone's like first platinum, and that's the game that kind of kind of gives them the itch to kind of get more. Yeah. So like what can you say about the game other than it's fantastic, and of course like you should play it. The only thing I will say, I don't like the new face. That's it.
Yeah. But I haven't actually played that version of the game, so I don't
like Bargain Basket Tom Holland. And then the excuse to say, we couldn't transfer the face over because the technology is like, why does every other character model look the same then? Would you not have had to change every single character model or face model?
Yeah, no, there was definitely some contractual reason for that.
There was something going on there, but
must have been. Yeah,
whatever about it. Great.
That game holds, I think it without a doubt holds the distinction of the most platinumed game ever, as well. Because I think it's possibly one of the best selling games on the PlayStation 4 and 3. And it's the highest platinum rarity, highest platinum rarity, I think, of any platinum of that kind of caliber. So logic would dictate that that's the most platinum game of all time.
It could be. We might need to do a deep dive research montage. But it's just a great game. I've got nothing else to say. Like, just play it.
No, absolutely. I still have to go back and do the DLC. I'm not talking to Platinum Bro until I've done it, just to avoid embarrassment.
Fair enough. He'll look at you with Toby eyes, the sad Toby eyes. You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door.
What this video is doing, maybe this is strategic on your part, but this makes your list sounds really good, because you've just got like banger after banger, and I've got like I'm trying to like explain what these games are to everyone. This one is it's good, it's a real game, I promise.
It's real good. I just wanted a quick fix, man. Look, I've said it all the time, and said on camera, off camera, I love your list because the sheer variety of games, and like I don't think like there's a game here where I go like there's no Hannah Montana, like no you're just a person that loves all types of games, and like even people might not know, it's like you're big on your PC games, you're big on Nintendo. I think the only thing we definitely agree on is like we're not really Xbox guys at all, but like you're just a gamer, and a very damn skilled gamer at that. So I think it's fair to say I think overall your list is still better than mine. I would trade.
No, I would disagree there. But look, my next game is a good one, and I think it's definitely going to be on your list as well. Is The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. And I have to say, I'm really surprised about that, coming in at like my 6th most common platinum, but 80.59%. Like, in my head, I just don't understand why the 3rd installment is the most common, because I can see here that none of the other ones have as much of a or none of them are as rare. in the final season, I know you have to get collectibles, so that of course is going to naturally bring it down a little bit. And 2 doesn't have a
platinum. Yeah,
platinum.
I always find
So
that
yeah,
really
I've answered my own question. I've answered my own question. This is why, because number 1 was extremely popular. Number 2 doesn't have a platinum. Number 3, the only people who played it platinumed it. And
my thesis is that, you know, the first one was like almost like a revelation when it came out, you know, like it kind of single-handedly like resuscitated that genre of, you know, like interactive kind of story-driven games, you know, kind of like Siberia or something, you know.
Or like Goosebumps, the game.
Or Goosebumps, yeah.
You know, the book version translated into a game. I used to love those books.
Yeah, and it came out before the Walking Dead TV show completely shit the bed. So it was kind of like a good.
Hey, that's not too bad still.
No, okay, like I stopped watching it.
No, I don't watch it either.
I'm sorry, just Glenn under that dumpster. They lost me. But
it's not like episode 1.
No, like season 5 when he's hiding under the dumpster, and then they do the fake cop-out death, and then they're like, oh wait, actually, and then they just bug and kill him like 2 episodes later. It's just ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah.
My thesis just that is just that the first game great, second game fronted by Clementine, third game a bit more, you know, of a niche one. It wasn't quite in the, you know, popular kind of pop culture like heights of the first game, and I think that it was just more of a hardcore audience that bought the third entry, and then I think subsequently then platted it because they're just massive fans of the series. But I
liked the game a lot, actually. I really did. I enjoyed it.
Chavi, wasn't it the main guy? Or
yeah, like I waited. Like I got the platinum this year, actually New Year's Day. That's how cool I am. On New Year's Day this year, I was playing A New Frontier season 3. But I really enjoyed the game. I left it for ages because, like, I forgot that they finished the whole thing, and I was like, I don't want to invest any more time into this if nothing comes of it, you know. And that's why I put away that series from my mind. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. So that's number 6.
So
how about you? Thumbs up.
Number 6 for me is Spyro 1.
Cool.
Which makes sense considering it's definitely the easiest out of the trilogy, or the shortest. So it's sitting at a 47.48%, so close to half of the people on the website that have played it have platted it, and that makes perfect sense. Thumbs up. That like, it's Spyro, you know what you're getting.
Spyro.
It was lovingly remade, and it's shocking how well like a game like that still works. I played it in 2020, and I'm like, this still just feels really fresh and fun. And it's kind of like how I remember it, even though I know it didn't look like that when I was playing it when I was like 7 or 8. But it was just one of those remakes that perfectly captured like the charm of the original, but kind of, you know, subtly changed the things that needed to be changed and updated, and just a pitch perfect remake.
They did a great job with this. Yeah, a really good job.
So thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah, the first time I ever played Spyro was outside the cinema. They had like a PlayStation 1 and a Dreamcast beside each other.
People trusted people a lot more back then, didn't they?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to leave a PlayStation and a Dreamcast outside the cinema these days. It'd be gone overnight.
Yeah, and I loved Spyro when I was.
If you want to like truly like watch the world burn, start putting PS5s outside cinemas.
I don't actually think I ever owned Spyro 1. So like I do remember playing it, but I never owned it because I owned number 2. It was the first Spyro game.
I only got to recently. I got it for free. It was left outside a charity shop.
Wow.
And I just was walking past and I was like, what the hell? And then I think it was Crash Bandicoot Racing and GTA 2 were just left there. Like, it's like, oh, just free to take. I'm like, well, don't mind if I do. And it was in great condition.
Are you sure you didn't steal from a charity shop?
It's not stealing it. They didn't know it was there. All right. No. So that went straight on my collector shelf, where you put
Yeah,
the
yeah.
PS1, PS2 games. So
Oh, they're
from
hard to get, PS1 games these days.
oh,
Very hard
stop,
to get.
stop. But
If
what's
only the
the
charity shop knew
yeah?
what they had. Yeah, so number 5 for me is Blackwood Crossing, another story-driven kind of walking sim-ish game with a few puzzle elements in it. Um, I would say out of like all the walking sims that I've played, probably this resonated with me the least.
Okay.
I think it was like definitely a well put together game, but there was like a twist in it, but I could see the twist like for the first 5 minutes. I knew what the twist was going to be, and then it was like they were like teasing the twist the whole way through, and I was like, it's
Was it written
hardly.
by M. Night Shyamalan? Was it?
I was thinking it's hardly going to be this obvious, is it? And then it was, and I was like, okay, well, like I think for that reason it never clicked with me. But the music is really nice. It's a bit like, I think I said it in one of those videos, that it's kind of like a bit Donnie Darko, kind of
Okay.
surreal at places. Kind of like What Remains of Edith Finch a little bit as well. Like again, it's a cheap game. It's good for 1 or 2 sittings, and interesting game. But like, I don't think it holds the same caliber as like the other kind of
Like
giants in that
Firewatch or
field.
Gone Home or
Yeah, exactly.
and maybe the twist was that you could see the twist coming.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
meta twist. Yeah,
meta twist. So
yeah,
no, like I don't think I played Gone Home on PC on Steam,
yeah,
and I quite enjoyed it, and I think I got What Remains of Edith Finch, I think, on PlayStation Plus, but I've never played it, and I think for Genie
yeah.
as well. Like, I've quite a backlog of walking sims, but I just haven't really felt the urge to play them.
Yeah, well, I can highly recommend What Remains of Edith Finch as just a great experience. It doesn't have a platinum, which is, definitely a bit of a blow. Virginia's great. The Ethan Carter game is really good, and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Gone Home is great as well. Tacoma is really cool. Soma, I suppose, is a walking sim as well. Like, it's a bit of a horror one. Like, there's really great games in there, but I understand that like they're not for everyone. Like, some people just don't like the lack of action, I suppose. But
if it clicks with you, it clicks. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, they definitely do. I enjoy a good old walking sim every now and then. But I'd say Blackwood Crossing would be probably like one of my least favorite ones. But I still enjoyed it. Yeah, still enjoyed it.
That's fair. That's fair. So the next on mine, sitting at a 48.30%, is season 1 of The Walking Dead. So I pretty much, when we're talking about New Frontier, it was kind of a benchmark release. It was 2012 there, so that's like right at the height of The Walking Dead's popularity. Just like a true standout in that kind of genre. Like, it really
it's one of the greats, of the last 10-15 years. It's definitely one of the greats, and just for the impact it had.
Absolutely. And I think almost like the strongest aspect of it, like as we kind of move into the 20s, the roaring 20s, is that much like Wind Waker or Okami, because it's cell shaded, it's kind of going to be like easily ported, and it's not going to be so strange to go back to. It's kind of got like a timeless art design. So it's just excellent. And if you're really fond of just character and narrative driven games that really just give so much time and attention to like watching characters develop and relationships kind of develop, it really is the standout. I agree with you. Like, it's up there with kind of I think genre defining games, especially in the past 10-15 years. It almost brought them back into vogue, those types of games. So
and it catapulted like Telltale to be one of the industry leaders in a lot of ways, like such a recognizable studio just from that. And then it gave us such great games like Wolf Among Us and Tales from Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the only one I haven't played is Guardians of the Galaxy. So but it's delisted now. So
Well, that's a shame. So what's next on yours?
next for me is The Moose Man.
I
This
know very
is
little about this.
yeah, it's a weird one, but it's pretty cool. It's like a Finnish folklore kind of game where you play as this I think they're called Somi or Swomi.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a shaman kind of, and he has the ability to shift him in and out of two kind of realms.
Mm-hmm.
um it's very very much like rooted in kind of the mythological stories and history of Finnish kind of
That sounds
culture.
cool. That sounds
Yeah.
badass. Yeah.
The art style is super cool. The it's all just it's basically like a 2D walking sim, but there's like little bosses that you have to kind of like, get past using like little puzzles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The game is like it's only like an hour and a half long or
Oh
so,
wow.
but
Yeah.
it's it's really, it does what it says on the tin. It's supposed to like really respect the culture and give a really kind of cool in-depth look to that. The music is really nice in it as well. It's like it's genuine kind of folk music from that section of the world as well. Yeah, I thought it was a great little experience. I think it was, it was only like 99 cents or something that
Wow.
I paid for it, but just for what it is actually really cool. I think I had to play it twice because like there's some collectibles like that you actually kind of need a guide for, and I think there's
Oh,
only like
okay.
one guide on Steam or something.
From
but
the developer, like.
but yeah, cool game. Just for the art style and the look at that kind of culture and stuff is really cool. Like I don't, not that I'm like an expert of the culture or anything, but just
I can
like
confirm it is Finnish.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'm now my PhD in this. No, yeah, cool experience. Like I'd say you could probably get a lot of it just from watching it online, watching a playthrough of it and stuff. But
Mhm.
for just a really short evening of playing the game and getting some trophies, it's nice.
Yeah, for 99 cents, you can't really complain. So,
No.
number four, most common is one that just it continually shocks me. It's Ghost of Tsushima, and it's at
Ah,
49.66. And the fact that it's higher up than the first season of The Walking Dead, where you legitimately only need to finish the game. I should have
yeah,
said that the first Walking Dead game, for anyone that doesn't know, surely if you're into trophies, but you just need to finish the game. Like,
finish it.
that's
Yeah.
it. Like, there's no collectibles, nothing like that. So, the fact that Ghost of Tsushima is more common than it just I don't understand because it's a long game. There's a
It is.
lot of
Yeah.
collectibles. You need to like follow so many foxes. I feel like we can't bash Ghost any more than we
Yeah,
already have
I was laughing when I saw it on your list. I was like, oh my god, another video where we talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
about how disappointed we are at it. No,
Yeah.
um, I would recommend the game. I
Oh,
really, really
absolutely.
would. It just boggles my mind that it's that common. Like I would have put SpiderMan up like it's a good near 5% more common than SpiderMan, which is, as we were saying, could be the most platinum game ever. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, like it is an excellent, well-made game, but I have to say, towards the end, I had to break up my gaming sessions to finish it because like yeah, it gets very repetitive. I really enjoyed the Legends mode that we played through together. I actually think that's, I've said it before, but that's where the gameplay really shines, when it's actually really really challenging.
Yeah.
I recently got the 100% in it though, so here's
Cool.
me complaining about the game. Yet I just gave them another €20 or so for the
No,
DLC.
Sucker Punch deserve a lot of kudos for the game. Like it's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. It
Oh yeah.
feels super badass. Being a samurai. The standoffs are cool. The duels are cool. But yeah, I think we're very much on the same wavelength about the criticisms of the game.
Yeah, like I actually think I enjoyed the DLC more because I
Cool.
thought the story was a lot more engaging personally.
Yeah.
I like the flashbacks. It's so recent. I'm not going to say a whole lot.
I don't. Yeah, I haven't played it yet myself, so don't
I
spoil
liked
it.
a few of the new gameplay mechanics that they actually introduced. Like I think
Oh,
one or
okay.
two of them were like it's amazing how like one kind of slightly new mechanic can just kind of change, how you navigate
Yeah,
the
well,
world.
I,
Or
I remember thinking like, thinking about the game and playing through it and having, finished or almost finished it, and I got to the stage, where you're at the end of towards the end of the game, and you have to help someone put a tire or like a wheel back
yeah,
on a cart, and you have to like tap X to do it. And I was there going, wow, this is like the biggest gameplay
shake
shift
up
in the
in like
last like
30
20
hours.
hours, like which was kind of sad,
Yeah.
like literally a quick time event to put on a wheel on a cart was like the biggest change in gameplay for the whole third act of the game.
Yeah, like I think I've said it on the opinion that like the only reason I think I'm so ranty about the game is that it's like it's circling like actual like brilliance, true unabashed brilliance, but I just think the repetition and like it feels like an end game of like the current open world model.
Yeah, but
And
I think
not
a lot of those issues were our fault for platinuming it, for going for the platinum. But then again, 50% of people were
more than
chased all
willing.
those foxes. So maybe
Yeah.
it's just us. Maybe we're the problem.
Yeah, I like more so than the trophies. It's just I just think that the thing that annoyed me the most with it is that considering it's a sucker punch game and they developed Infamous and the whole narrative is based on honor. The
Yeah,
fact that there was no honor system akin to the Infamous games where it
yeah,
like the endings might change based on you performing like honorable or dishonorable actions is
yeah.
one of the biggest missed opportunities in modern gaming for me.
Absolutely. Like the
It
whole
would have
game is about.
completely changed that dynamic of the game and made it far more engaging, in my opinion.
Absolutely. The game is about a samurai who's conflicted about having to use non-samurai tactics. So that is like they couldn't have painted a more obvious picture of where they could have like had like
They
a
had the
a Knights of
base
the Old
for it.
Republic, kind of Jedi light side dark side thing of the
Mm.
ghost versus the samurai, and
Like it was
saving people
like it was
brings
on a
it up.
plate, and in a way, it would have been
Yeah,
fucking phenomenal because it was
it's so
actually
cool.
something we hadn't really seen before. With
Well, like in Knights of the Old Republic, what like it will lock you out of certain dialogue and certain missions if you don't have high enough light or low enough dark. So the ending of the game changes based on like where you kind of fall, and you can be
yeah,
a gray Jedi, you can be a light side Jedi, or you can be a dark side Jedi, and that like would have been so perfect for this game
yeah.
because
That's the layer
oh
that was missing. That was the layer
yeah,
that was missing. Like
absolutely.
yeah. But anyway, enough of Ghost. We should make
Number
one
3.
video where we just spend everything on about
Yeah,
Ghost. But number 3, okay, we're in the top 3. So what's your third
top
most
3.
common game after a 12, 11-year trophy hunting career?
Number 3 is Old Man's Journey, which is another 2D kind of adventure game where you play as an old man who has to go on a journey. He has to make it to his destination. Um, the platinum is called Life, Loss, Reconciliation, and Hope. And I think that really kind of sums up the game and the kind of
Mm-hmm.
themes that it hits on. It's a really nice game. So it's just like, a man looking, who's making it somewhere and, looks back on his life through it and the choices he made. And I think they tell a really nice story in a very short space of time with
Mm-hmm.
the nice music.
That sounds great.
The puzzles are quite unique. You basically move the terrain up and down so that he can walk to the next level, to the next place.
Mm-hmm.
So like there'll be a hill and you might have to drag the hill down and then rise another hill up and then train tracks or something.
That sounds cool.
Platinum's very easy. Game is really good. Just like all the other games I've mentioned, I think it's good. And yeah, this one, I'd say this was like the first really easy platinum that I had, like a really short, easy platinum that I ever played. because this was like, you know, again, it's like 4 hours long or something. And I played it back in 2019.
Yeah.
I think this was like the first time I ever played a game that was like really, really quick, easy platinum. And I really liked it. Like really, really liked it. I thought it was great.
But
Yeah,
it seems like
cool
a great
game.
game. Okay,
Yeah.
no, that sounds cool. So I'm in my top three. So this one I played relatively recently. It's Gree or Grith.
Nice choice.
I
Yeah.
guess it's Gree. So
I think it's Gree, yeah.
54%. Definitely, I would say mechanically the easiest game. I think on my list. It's like you can't really mention the game without mentioning like the beautiful art design. I don't think it would be for everyone because it hasn't got like the depth of like a 2D Metroidvania or like a Guacamelee or anything like that. It's very simplistic, and I mean like move and jump kind of simplicity here.
Yeah.
It's not like outrageously short, but it's fairly damn short as well.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think I missed like there's like one collectible as well that I missed. So it's very much like collectibles and all that, but as like a visual like showcase, like an artistic showcase, it's just like unlike anything I've seen. It's essentially like a moving watercolor painting.
Yeah.
And the music's like stellar, very like you know, subtle kind of nuanced storytelling. You know, it's kind of up to your own, you know, imagination, like what it all means, much like art itself.
Yeah.
So
well, like yeah, no, I completely agree. I think, well, it's I don't know, is gray in French, is that right? I think so. I think so.
Say pas. That's
and I don't know, I think like the story to me is about grief, which is
loss,
similar to the name, and loss. And I thought it was, yeah, absolutely, like it's a beautiful game.
It's funny though, it wouldn't be a game that I'd recommend to a lot of people though, because I do think it's kind of like to specific taste. So I think if you do like kind of slower paced, I guess less gamey games, to borrow your term, like absolutely go for it. But if you prefer kind of action or, you know, RPGs or like games with like a really good gameplay loop and stuff, maybe give it a miss. But just check it out. It's normally quite cheap, and you know, it's just a very unique game.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I personally would like, I would recommend it to a lot of people just for the experience alone. But I appreciate what you mean. I think it's some people might be put off with it. It's very mechanically simple. But I think I can. Go ahead.
Go on. No, I was just going to say, it's like when I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I always find it a very hard sell to people. You know, it's like, just get over the first season. Trust me, it's amazing.
Yeah. I convinced my wife to watch Buffy to mixed results.
Yeah. It's her loss. It's her loss. So number two.
Number two for me is Donut County, which is an interesting game. Maybe again one of those ones that might be like a little bit more suited to like a touch screen, I think, but they translated it to a console really well. Basically, you play as a sinkhole where you swallow up everything that's on the screen. So you know, you start very small, and then, you know, something falls in the hole, and then it gets a little bit bigger, and then eventually you can eat the whole map. It's a very simple game. There's a boss battle, I think, at the end that you have to like knock a hit in or something, but like it's really, really easy. But that would be the only like semi-challenging thing in it. It's I said it in the video that it's kind of like the inverse of the Katamari game, you know, where like rather than like gathering everything, you're eating everything. Or but yeah, it's got a really cool soundtrack. I think, you know, it's got music that the hip kids would be into, or so I've been told. My
sources tell me.
My sources tell me that it's got that kind of music. No, it's just it's a cool game. I liked Donut County a lot. It's very unique. there's like a story there about like the raccoon in the city who's done it with the drone or something.
It's fully fleshed out. It's deeper. It's
It
like
is.
J.R.R. Tolkien wrote it. Like,
Yeah. Everyone's mad at the raccoon. But
hmm
yeah, that's the game. I'd recommend it as a cool game. For it's just kind of unique mechanics and just a bit of a laugh.
So number 2 of mine, Life is Strange Before the Storm. So it
Cool.
seems like Life is Strange 1 is the only Life is Strange game that hasn't made the top 10. 64%. That seems about right. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's lengthy enough, and it's again just collectibles. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it was going to be like a really cheap cash grab. And
Mm.
I picked it up on sale. And to be honest, I was actually feeling like I just want kind of like story-driven game and kind of like an easier platinum.
Yeah.
So loaded up, and I actually thought it was like it's very difficult to make a prequel work when you kind of build up a character so much in the first game. You know, the
Yeah.
girl that's missing,
Rachel Amber.
Rachel Amber. And I thought
Yeah.
they did a really good job of kind of characterizing her and like making her like live up to how she was built up in the original game.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, I just really liked it, and I thought the 3 episode structure suited it. Because I think there was always momentum to the story and stuff. But mechanically, it's exactly the same. These games live and die by whether or not you connect to the characters. So it'll just fall flat on its arse if you don't connect with the story whatsoever.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Great soundtrack and very easy platinum. So
Yeah.
yeah, but unlike Life is Strange 2, you have to play the first Life is Strange.
Yes. Yeah. Or well, could you play that
You
first
could
and
play
then
that
Life
and
is
then, but
Strange?
I think that and the first Life is Strange were so interwoven
Yeah.
that I feel like you're doing each game a disservice by not playing the other.
Yeah. Like in my head, at least how I remember them, I nearly think it might be better to play Before the Storm first because
Well, yes, because it's like it directly ends
yeah,
where the first game begins, kind of thing.
and like I might have like a bigger appreciation for Chloe as a character if I played that. But then again, it might work the opposite way. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments might know what the best way to
No,
play
they'll
that
be like,
game is.
"You guys playing
Um,
Life is Strange?"
yeah, I thought in fairness the way they tried to implement the mechanic of like the rewind time in Before the Storm was really bad. You can like back talk or something, and it was like
Yeah,
it was a bit cringe.
yeah, yeah. You see, that's the thing. It's like the first game. It's okay that you can control time and stuff, but it kind of takes away the impetus from like story-driven games where like you're kind of go shit. I panicked and you just hit a button, but you're like stuck with the response. Like Heavy Rain or The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
If you're just too slow or if you're kind of mulling it over too long, like you've missed your opportunity. So the back talk thing was kind of like, okay, she doesn't have superpowers. All we do, we'll just have it where like she back talks, but that doesn't reverse time or change what you said.
yeah, it just makes her like a bit annoying. Yeah.
So
Okay,
stupid.
number one for me is Sagebrush, which
Sagebrush,
is the only
92%.
yeah, which is crazy. It's the only Rad Lake game on my account, which is
It's a rare
fitting.
distinction.
Yeah, which is fitting for it to be, my most common platinum, I suppose. But very unlike a Rad Lake game. I would definitely recommend Sagebrush to again anyone who likes kind of the walking sim style games. It's basically a game where you are on an abandoned cult complex. It's like a suicide cult.
Some kind of
Where
Suicide Squad.
yeah, and even cooler than that actually. Unironically, I think like it's got this like eerie atmosphere where you're like exploring it in the same kind of way that like like exploring in Firewatch, where you're like not really sure what's out there, and like there's that kind of eeriness to it, where you like open the door and you're kind of like, oh wow, this is kind of creepy. It's done in like a lo-fi graphic style, so I suppose obviously like there wasn't a huge budget for this game, but I think just for the premise of it being like set in this cult complex and the exploration and stuff, like just for that alone, I think it's well worth it.
It's worth a play, yeah.
Definitely worth the play. The platinum is like an hour or two again, because I suppose it's a Rad Lake game and that's their business model. But like in comparison to the other games that they're just kind of thrown together, well, maybe not thrown together, but at least, you know, the very low quality games, like this is a really unique experience that I think, you know, I didn't know it was a Rad Lake game when I looked at it, because the reviews are pretty positive for it. So I just got it, and definitely don't regret playing it at all. It's a really cool game.
There's still gold to be found out there, because like one perspective you can take from the Rad Lake thing is like, well, at least they're giving loads of developers a chance to publish their games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for better or worse, I mean, yeah, you're going to get like inundated, because Sony have just kind of stopped kind of, I guess, like checking the platinum things. They used to really like gatekeep like the sanctity of the platinums, but since Sony have kind of let that go, it's like, okay, look, you're almost guaranteed a certain amount of sales, just make the platinums easy and we'll like fund the games.
Yeah, I'd say there was like one guy who was like in charge of like, you know, keeping the platinums like, you know, a certain quality, and then he went like on holiday or something and
he came back. What have you done? It's a cold red, sir. It's a cold red.
His last action before he went on holiday was like to like not give Journey a platinum, and then he went off.
Or it was a guy that was like retiring and he just hit the big red button when he was leaving, you know. He's like, fuck this. No, like yeah, like just because it's a Radalika game doesn't mean, you know, it should be outright dismissed. And it does look, you know, definitely like there's a lot more going on with it and a bit more like love in it and like an interesting kind of atmosphere and stuff. So
I think it's probably the only 3D Rad Lake game as well. I don't think there's a single 3D Rad Lake game, at least that I'm aware of.
A doubly rare distinction. So my most common platinum out of the 148 that I've accumulated is kind of a boring one. It's The Walking Dead: A New Frontier that we've already discussed. A bit of an anticlimax, but we already kind of talked about it. So 80%, 80.59 is the highest it goes up, and as I said earlier, you know, you could kind of see the trend here where it's those story-driven games, you know, they make up 5 out of the 10, and for some reason Ghost of Tsushima and SpiderMan, much bigger double, like AAA games, kind of make up the rest of it. But I think overall, like I really liked each and every one of these games, and it just shows that, you know, sometimes the trophy rarity isn't akin to like the quality, and sometimes you don't need a ridiculously tough trophy list to go with great games. You know, a great game is just a great game, and that's why we play them.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this list was just me talking about the games that desperately brought down my platinum or my average trophy rarity, but no, like I definitely had a pretty good time with all those games. I would say like I wouldn't have any problem recommending any of them, as long as people like kind of, you know, do their own research and see would it be something that they'd enjoy. I'm very open to like strange experiences, or, you know, just like non-conventional ones. I'm happy just to test it out. Probably the biggest culprit of that was Persona Dancing in Starlight that I played this year, which was definitely very, very far left from what I'm usually
I think that's
playing.
a great way to be. Just completely just mix it up, you know, just you know, try a genre you've never played before, you know, play a game from a developer, you know, you've never known before. Like, it's what keeps, you know, everything fresh, you know.
Well, we're so spoiled for choice these days. You know, there's just so many great games out there.
Yeah, it's hard to hone in really, but like I enjoy getting all of these. But I think what'll be interesting to see the top 10 rarest platinums. I think that's gonna be a bit more of a contested one, I think, because some of those platinums caused tears.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I agree.
So
Well, look,
Dan, great chatting to you as always. It was
you
nice
too.
looking through the top 10 most common. And I'm sure, as I said, because we lack the creativity needed for any other video, we will see each other in the top 10 most rare platinum discussion videos. God, we're good at our jobs.
We certainly will. Absolutely.
So keep happy hunting. I'm over here.
Here.
Other side.
To me, that looks like we're both high-fiving the same like wall.
Platchums!